choose a path.
We at Eswatini Television Authority are committed to observing the Eswatini Communication Commission's Broadcasting Code of Conduct.
Under the code, we are committed to broadcast news that is current, free from hate speech, accurate, balanced, and fair.
From politics to business, health, agriculture, courts, and global news, we bring you the latest updates as they happen, when they happen.
We cover all the sporting codes from the football pitch to the chessboards.
This is Eswatini TV News.
Good evening and welcome to Eswatini TV News at 8. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Lindo Masugu and your sign language interpreter for tonight is Namakabiso Nkambule. Let's take a look at the news-making headlines. His Majesty King Eswatini III has implored developed nations to financially assist agriculture projects in the developing world. The Minister of Commerce encourages the Maswati to take membership of cooperatives for the country seriously to realize sustainable development. The Minister for Housing and Urban Development commends the Municipal Council of Mbabane for considering pedestrians during the construction of the Somhlolo Road. Well, let's get into the news in detail. His Majesty King Eswatini III has implored developed nations to financially assist agriculture projects in the developing world. His Majesty's speech was delivered by the Deputy Prime Minister Themba Masuku during the closing ceremony of the UN Food System Summit that was organized by FAO in Italy.
The United Nations Food System Summit that was organized by the Food and Agricultural Organization FAO ended by a plenary session where the issue of financing food systems in all UN member states was discussed at length. The Deputy Prime Minister, Senator Themba Masuku, represented His Majesty King Eswatini III during the session. When making remarks on behalf of His Majesty the King, Masuku put it explicitly clear that food systems will not yield the desired results if they are not financially supported by developing nations and financial institutions like the World Bank and the African Development Bank, among others.
We are aware that today's food systems are facing multiple crises. They are responsible for a large share of greenhouse gas emissions, biodiversity loss, water pollution, and soil degradation. They fall short in providing adequate nutrition and livelihoods for billions of people around the world.
The Deputy Prime Minister says the Eswatini government will continue to engage other stakeholders to find ways of strengthening the food systems in the country.
The Kingdom of Eswatini started by organizing the food systems dialogues for a number of stakeholders, ranging from government institutions, private sector players, civil society, and from organizations. The outcome of these engagements, which are our food systems pathways, are owned and led not only by government, but all the various players that are expected to implement the same. Going forward, it is necessary to have regular platforms to inform policy and changes that will sustain the implementation of our food system. I just want to end by saying we have one dying planet. We have an increasing population. We need to act, not tomorrow.
Shortly after delivering His Majesty's speech, Masuku had a private meeting with FAO Director General Dr. Kyu Dong-Yu. The Deputy Prime Minister then headed to Russia to represent His Majesty the King during the ongoing Russia-Africa Summit in St. Petersburg. For Eswatini TV News, I am Lincoln Kule in Russia.
The Minister of Commerce, Mangoba Khumalo, encourages the Maswati to take membership of cooperatives seriously in order for the country to realize sustainable development. The Minister said this during this year's celebration of the Cooperatives Day held at Mavuso Sports Center in Manzini. The theme for this year's celebration is Cooperatives Partners for Accelerated Development.
Government has over the years been working tirelessly to lay the ground for cooperative organizations to carry out their business without hindrances. This includes the enactment of laws and policies to ensure unlimited growth for eMaswati. Minister of Commerce Senator Mangoba Khumalo says such laws are promulgated in accordance with the wishes of eMaswati.
Currently, we've got more than 1,200 cooperatives that are registered and active in the country. I have no doubt that such initiatives emanating from cooperatives in the country will continue to have significant contribution to the sustainable development goals, such as goal number 8, which speaks to decent work and economic growth.
President of the National Cooperatives Federation of Eswatini, Sifiso Mhlongo, says all cooperatives operating in the country must be legally registered.
Singakutsata tinhlangano telibanjiswana kuthi nangabe inhlangano yakho iyekulima siyayikhutsata ukuthi ayihambe iyojoyina kwa-esamco. Nangabe kuyinhlangano yebantu labasha siyayikhutsata ukuthi ayihambe iyojoyina ku-esnika. Nangabe kuye konga nekuboleka siyakhutsata ukuthi ayihambe iyojoyina ku-esasco.
Eswatini cooperatives have a combined asset base of 2.5 billion emalangeni and 1.3 billion emalangeni in issued loans. Reporting for Eswatini TV, Mbongwa Dube with Vumingosi Nzinisa and Sindiswa Zwane in Manzini.
The President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, has pledged his country's full support to the African continent. Putin was speaking when officially opening the second Russia-Africa Summit that is already underway in St. Petersburg. The Deputy Prime Minister is representing His Majesty King Mswati III at the summit.
When the Deputy Prime Minister, Senator Themba Masuku, arrived in the arena where the Russia-Africa Summit is being held to represent His Majesty King Mswati III, he was received by the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs in Russia. The second Russia-Africa Summit was officially opened by the Russian Federation President Vladimir Putin. When addressing the heads of state and government from Africa, Putin was not pleased with the Western countries like France, including the United States of America, for being hell-bent on destroying Russia's relationship with the African continent. Putin's wrath comes after only 17 African heads of state showed up for the summit, a number that is so low compared to those who attended the summit in 2021. The Russian president means no words when explaining to the African leaders that Russia will not go back to the grain deal agreement with Ukraine because of Western influence that the latter is under. He says Russia will continue to support Africa in all her initiatives, including supplying Africa with grain. Some African leaders who are here in St. Petersburg for the summit include South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, Emmerson Mnangagwa from Zimbabwe, and President Philip Nyusi from Mozambique. President Putin will tonight host a dinner for all the African leaders that are here. The meeting will continue tomorrow. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Lincoln Gule, St. Petersburg in Russia.
The Minister for Housing and Urban Development, Prince Melane, commends the Municipal Council of Mbabane for considering pedestrians during the construction of the Somhlolo Road. The Minister says the traffic lights will ensure safety for Eswatini. Prince Melane was speaking when commissioning the use of the newly rehabilitated Somhlolo Road.
The rehabilitation of the Somhlolo Road in Mbabane has been completed. The Minister for Housing and Urban Development, Prince Melane, has commissioned the official use of the road. Speaking during the officiation event that was graced by the Indian High Commissioner and the United Nations Resident Coordinator, Minister Prince Melane gave a brief history about the road.
Ngalomgwaqo umqoka kakhulu lo ingwenyama usobhuza wesibili beyisebenzisa wona iyavula lapha iglassway lapha etulu engweni.
Prince Melane says King Sobhuza used the road to open Ngwenya glass. Prince Melane says the Sandla is no longer a residential area as the ministry is working on allocating spaces to embassies. Prince Melane thanked the Municipal Council of Mbabane for securing funding for the rehabilitation of the road. The Mbabane Municipal Council CEO Gideon Mhlongo says the road rehabilitation cost about 40 million emalangeni. Mhlongo says the road is one of the most important roads since there are churches, colleges and other important institutions.
We felt, let us get a specialist, a consultant to design and supervise the construction. We felt so we won't have time to close this, supervise the contractor. So it's important to have a consultant.
The beneficiaries' representative, Patrick Ngwenya, says they welcome the development as more people stand to benefit, especially business institutions as well as residents. For Eswatini TV News on Domlangeni, Temba Shabango, Mbabane.
Forging partnerships with established business people will help Eswatini to grow economically, as this is the aspiration of the recently passed Citizens Empowerment Bill. This was said by the Minister of Commerce, Senator Mangoba Khumalo, during the official opening of Shoprite Supermarket in Matsapa.
Ukusijabulisa kola ukuthi labo director beMaswati baka Shoprite bakhona akusiso nje ukuthi isitoro sekuhamba kepha lenkampani yaka Shoprite lesesikhwahlande ipartnership neMaswati labo director la kaNgwane lokho siyakukhuthaza kakhulu sisabuka lenzaba ye Citizens Economic Empowerment Bill ngoba vele ngiloku lefuna ukuthi sikwente ngale bill ukuthi kungafiki umsebenzi nebekuhamba bathathe le mali yethu lesithenga ngayo bayo invest engcenye kepha neMaswati abe khona kuqashwe neMaswati lokunye lokusijabulisa ukuthi letimvo labatithengisako letinye setithengwa la kaNgwane letinye letiprocesswako sebathi processa la kaNgwane.
One of the directors of the new Shoprite supermarket, Sylvia Mthethwa, says as directors they are honored to bring the much needed service to the people of Matapa.
We are in the business of trying to turn our economy and our country around and give us the very best chance of succeeding in the huge global race.
The new Shoprite store has opened employment opportunities for 150 people and the total investment is 30 million emalangeni. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, Mbongwa Dube, Vumingo Senzinisa and Fabrice Msonera in Matapa.
Young people of Eswatini in the space have been capacitated on machine learning that is related to the artificial intelligence. The computer science head of department in the University of Eswatini, Dr. Andile Metula, says young people will have a chance to develop programs that can help more people. Dr. Metula was speaking during the Deep Learning Indaba 2023 held in Eswatini.
The Deep Learning Indaba consists of structured lectures and practical sessions by different speakers within multidisciplinary fields such as computer science and geosciences, among other fields. The computer science senior lecturer at UNESWA, Dr. Andile Metula says the objective of the seminar is to support local researchers in Eswatini to enhance and strengthen local and international links for collaboration.
Main thing in Mlangeni is to promote machine learning in our country. You know our vision as a country. Our vision as a country is to harness, is to use ICTs to develop this country. We need to develop this country using ICT. And one way, of course, of doing that, it is to equip our young people with the right skills. It's them who are going to assist us to partake in the 4IR. So that is why we are here. That is why we are putting them in the forefront of this event.
The Indaba is expected to continue on Friday. It is supported by SCCOM, the Central Bank of Eswatini, Center for Financial Inclusion, among other stakeholders. Eswatini TV News on Mlangeni, Themba Shabangu, Ezulwini.
The Municipal Council of Manzini prioritizes the welfare of the city's residents, especially the elderly. The Manzini Municipal Council Mayor Nosipho Gamete explains about services brought closer to the elderly in an event held at the Millennium Park in Manzini.
kusukela different type kusukela kubo BP ushukela nako konke kubahlola nje ukuthi baphile kangakanani emtimbeni ngoba ezibakhulu kumcoka lokuthi bathi ukuthi le mitimba ihamba ibe buthakathaka. So look commission utosida lokho ukuthi bathi babuyele emakhaya babe banawo emakhathakhatha ukuthi bamane baqhubaqhubeke nempilo.
And now let's take a look at today's financial indicators.
This sports update is proudly brought to you by eBet. Join our family of winners by visiting us today at ebet.co.sz. eBet, born to win.
And now into our sports roundup. Princess Sibahle has encouraged women football clubs to work tirelessly towards the development of women football in the country. The princess was speaking on behalf of Wanderville, who were part of the sponsorship stakeholders of the women football season for 2022-2023. Princess Sibahle was speaking during the prize presentation of the Women's League at Sikwata House.
The Women Football Association held their press presentation of the Women Football League for the season of 2022-2023. Princess Bahle, who spoke on behalf of Wanderville that contributed to the sponsorship of the league, encouraged clubs to work hard and improve women football in the country.
On behalf of Her Royal Highness Nkosazana Dilambegiza and Wanderville, and Wanderville's role to assist Eswatini Football Association in developing the sport. The Month of the Month award is to appreciate the players and to encourage them as they play their league games throughout the season. It creates competitiveness within players as they play and improve their game. This sees them and even being recognized and selected into the national teams.
Eswatini Football Association President Peter Simelane says the federation will continue to support and contribute to the growth of the women football in the country.
Note that there is a need to be a good foundation for the production of more women football players and the sustenance of the women game. In this regard, a couple of developments in the women game have been implemented, namely the EFA Pick and Pay Under 15 Girls Tournament, the Talent Development Scheme, the engagement of women leaders into the COSAFA Women in the Leadership Program.
Women Football Association Chairperson Bongos Mhlanga highlighted the importance of having full sponsorships for the upcoming seasons. Eventual champions Young Buffaloes ladies team walked away with their trophy alongside with their top scorer of the league, Tseriwe Ngambule, who netted 58 goals. Royal Leopard ladies were awarded as second team of the league, while third was Nsingizini ladies team. Players who also outshined others during the league each month were awarded. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabrice Msonera, Mbabane.
The Sports was proudly brought to you by eBet. Don't hesitate. Visit us today at ebet.co.sz. eBet, born to win.
All right, that's how we end that's how we reach the end of tonight's bulletin. But before we leave you, here is a reminder of the top stories. His Majesty King Eswatini III has implored developed nations to financially assist agriculture projects in the developing world. The Minister of Commerce encourages the Eswatini to take membership of cooperatives for the country seriously to realize sustainable development. The Minister for Housing and Urban Development commends the Municipal Council of Mbabane for considering pedestrians during the construction of the Somhlolo Road. Well, that's all the news we had for you tonight. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for the weather forecast. From all of us here at the Eswatini TV News team, it's good night.